Hey, James Rath here. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I asked you to send me questions over on Twitter, YouTube community tab, and my Instagram stories all about traveling as a blind person. And we're going to get to those questions. Firstly, thank you for your patience. I know it's been a moment since I've posted this type of format of content, but I've been posting over on TikTok, and if you don't follow me there, you probably should if you want that bite-sized content or behind the scenes of like just answering those typical questions I always kind of get and probably re-answering multiple times because that's how the TikTok comments work. As well as posting content such as podcast over on cdifferent.co. Speaking of C Different, this video was brought to you by C Different, which isn't really, it's my thing. C Different is my merch. It's this new shirt, by the way, this pink shirt. There's also a blue, orange, and green, and it's part of the new summer seasonal shirt. So if you want to check that out, it's pretty cool. It's got a blue iris in the corner on the front, as well as saying C Different on the back, but with a vertical logo? Yeah, we went vertical for that one. We donate a percentage of every purchase to nonprofits and organizations that align with my viewpoint of accessibility and funding a more accessible society. So if you're about that social model of the disability experience, feel free to check out cdifferent.store or just cdifferent.co if you want to check out the podcast or just get a link to the store. Also, just for you for watching this video, you can add Q&A 25 at checkout as a promo code to save 25% off your order at cdifferent.store. Anyway, let's get to these questions.
SS Newton asks, what travel situations stress you out the most?
What stresses me out about travel? Airports in general, but specifically layovers. I try to avoid layovers. I try to avoid layovers as much as possible. All I want is a direct flight from where I am to Japan. Will I get that? Probably not. I should probably take a layover. One, it'll be cheaper. Two, could use a break. Could definitely use a little break. If you are not following me already on Instagram and Twitter, be sure to do so that your question could appear in a future Q&A video. All right, let's hit that YouTube community tab.
Steve Stein asks, is it better to sit on the aisle or by the window?
Oh, this one I still go back and forth on. I love the window seat. It's great for capturing some footage, right? You know, you get that scenic ascend into the sky or descend back down. But there's also something great about having the aisle seat to quickly get up and do your business. I personally am a little passive, so when I am taking a window seat, and I need to get up, whether it's just for stretching or using the laboratory, as they call it, I sometimes just get a little nervous to ask, and I have to build that up because I don't want to bother the person next to me. You know, we're on a flight, it's stressful for everyone, but I'm sure I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I need to, and yeah, that's me. Let's move over to the folks at Twitter. Y'all sent some pretty cool questions, so let's get to this.
Isaac asks, do you have tips for traveling blind? Mainly flying on a plane.
Yeah, I do. It's be as communicative as you can, which is something I'm still working on. Don't be afraid to ask for assistance. It really helps when you start off by checking the I am visually impaired or blind or have some sort of disability or I would like assistance of any kind when you're booking your ticket, whether it's by phone or online. And then when you get to the airport and you go to the desk where you can have that assistance fulfilled, be sure to do that because it helps. Now, the quality of service will depend very much from airport to airport, as well as assistant personnel, employee to employee. Assistants will vary because I've had some who literally do not want to talk to me. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but they just want to plump me in a wheelchair, roll me, and that's it. You know, the airport won't even be that busy, but I just like, sorry, I wanted a human connection and just talk to you, know how your day is, and to let you know that, hey, I'm blind, my legs work fine, and I would just prefer to be guided because we'll move at a quicker speed. Just need to be guided. Can't read the signs. Everything's kind of a blur. Yeah, communicate and hope for the best.
Stacy K asks, what is one thing sighted folks can do, or that you wish they'd stop doing, to make your travels easier or more pleasant?
Be attentive and aware, and this is just in general. When you are in an airport, there are scooters, there are people rolling luggages, wheelchairs, there's people guiding folks who are blind, low vision, strollers. There are people going by the walk area, like the hallway of an airport, the walkway of an airport. There are people who just like to stand and sit in the middle of it. Not sit, maybe, but like stand. They just stand there, they're looking at all the restaurants or the stores. Okay, go to the side and decide where you want to go. Like, there are people who just gather and start talking and chatting in the walkway. Don't do that. Don't be that person. There's a lot of you out there too, because my cane either has to, like, I will literally start tapping my cane louder, and it's a rolling cane, by the way, so like I'm not really naturally tapping it. I have to literally tap it to make some kind of noise or warning that, hey, I'm coming by here and I need y'all to move. If you're not going to, cool, I'm going to tap your heels, and that's gonna be that. Next question.
Joker Alice asks, hey, I was wondering, is there something you do to be able to identify your bags when traveling on a plane? I usually let my mom worry about identifying our bags when we've traveled. I'm wondering how other blind people do this.
So personally for me, as of recent, I've been using AirTags. I did a whole unboxing and small demonstration of how AirTags work, but I went on a trip to Florida recently, and I actually put the AirTag in my luggage. I put one in each bag. I also have one on my cane, but I found it amazing because it literally told me the moment that we could get out of airplane mode, and we landed, but I was still on the plane waiting to get off. Hey, my luggage arrived with me, because that's my biggest fear, is me getting on one plane to one city and my luggage either not coming with me or my luggage going somewhere else. It's happened once. Never want that to happen again. Probably will happen again. But AirTags at least give me the reassurance and confirmation that my AirTag made it with me. My luggage made it with me. You could use any type of tracker that works in the same way as AirTags. It just worked out for me because that's what I had lying around. Another great thing about the AirTag though, when you have an iPhone 11 or iPhone 12, you have the U1 chip, and the AirTag has a U1 chip, so that you can actually get precision finding. This was great because in real time, as the AirTag was coming closer and it was on the conveyor belt and it was coming around towards me, I could actually see that in real time, or hear it because the voiceover was reading it aloud. So when it got closer to me, it said 2 feet away, 1 feet away, and then I could just pick it up and grab it. Now before AirTags or any kind of tracker, I would just tie a knot with like string or ribbon or something along my bag's handle, and I would make sure that it was in contrast with the color of the luggage itself, so usually a brighter color. This was easier for me to identify as I can still see some color, but then I could also use something like the Be My Eyes app, and when I call up a volunteer through Be My Eyes, they could try to find that. I'll just tell them, hey, yeah, I have a brown bag with a blue ribbon. Cool, cool. Find it that way. It was great. It was pretty easy. That's how I did it.
Ains asks, how do you identify the right bus, train? What are your tips?
So I'm not good with buses. I'll just be completely honest. I love trains, and I'm pretty good with trains. I feel comfortable on a train, switching trains, but buses, it just feels so foreign to me. I avoided the buses when I was in Los Angeles, and I pretty much avoid buses in most scenarios, but I do understand when I am traveling to new cities, it might be my only mode of transportation, especially if I go to like a country like Iceland, right? Iceland doesn't really have Uber or Lyft from my understanding. Maybe they have cabs, but if I really want to be as accessible in terms of affordability with my travel, I may want to take buses. And so yes, I need to figure out buses better. So if you have any tips for me in those comments for how I can better find buses, be able to like know about transfers and stuff like that, please let me know, because that's one area I could use your help. As for trains, yeah, I try to use as much reassurance through apps. So the City Mapper is one app, just the regular Google Maps or Apple Maps. You can pretty much do a lot of transit options on there for a lot of cities. And beyond that, If there's auditory announcements, especially on buses and trains, great. That helps me a lot to know, cool, I know where my transfer is, I know what's coming up. So I always try to make sure I know how many transfers or how many stops there are before it gets to mine. Beyond that, I would try and just communicate. If it's a bus driver, that's one way. I've done it in the past where I just tell a bus driver where I'm going. They know I'm blind or visually impaired, and just hope they're a good person and they help me out and, you know, not having the worst day in the world and decide to just ignore that request. Then we both have problems because they have me until they go back to the bus company.
Quinn asks, what do you pack as your essentials when you travel? Is there any travel gear that helps you travel easier?
Yes, so obviously my phone is super important to me, like most people. It's very dependent on that for accessibility, for if I need to call that Uber, that Lyft in the moment, if I need to contact a cab company, or if I need to just figure out how to get around where I am. I love my AirPods just for the transparency mode with the AirPods Pro. I can still listen to the ambience around me, but still listen to things like voiceover or auditory directions if I'm walking. And then beyond that, obviously, like my camera as a filmmaker, I like to keep my camera bag, certain lenses I like to have, certain memory cards, batteries, that kind of stuff is pretty essential to me. But also, and some people think I'm a little like overboard with this, but I bring battery packs. I just never know if I'm gonna get lost somewhere or if I'm gonna be stuck somewhere for a while. So I bring these like huge Mophie and Anchor battery packs with me in my backpack that are fully charged and could charge an iPhone or an iPad like up to 10 times. They're a little heavy, they're a little big, but hey, I bring it in my backpack just in case. And because I will sometimes put my cane away if I'm sitting down or I'm with certain people who I feel comfortable with walking with in maybe a semi-familiar area, I can put my cane down for a bit and put that in my backpack. So those are some essentials: a backpack, phone of course, battery packs, and then if I'm going to shoot something, my camera and all my camera gear for like the DSLR. If you are curious to actually see my essentials in my packing methods, let me know, because I will be going on a trip actually this month, and I could very well film that piece of content and just show like what are the essentials I take with me. Just let me know in those comments if that's something you are interested in seeing, hearing, whatever you're down for. And those are the questions I can get to today. Thank you. I will answer more questions, of course. More questions came in. Some were kind of repeats, but others were just like great for their own video, and I will get to that. Thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know if you have any tips for me in terms of buses, or otherwise, let me know what are your biggest maybe hiccups or fears when it comes to travel. And I don't know, maybe us in the comments can try to help give tips and advice for your particular cases, because that's what we do in this community. Keep in mind, over at seedifferent.co, you could get this new shirt. You can also get other shirts and mugs and whatever else we have available, phone cases. Be sure to use Q&A 25 to save 25% off your order this month of July. I hope you could see different today, and I will hear you next time. Bye.